The 1900 storm, Hurricane Alicia, Hurricane Ike. Every year the Texas Gulf Coast is under threat, and from June to November, all eyes are on the Gulf of Mexico. We know it's not a matter of if, but when. And when the next hurricane strikes, the only thing you can do is be prepared.
So this year, we took hurricane preparedness in a whole new way. We took it to the schools.
4 schools, in fact, representing 4 different school districts.
The final 4 students will be teamed up with one of us to compete for the chance of a lifetime to guest host the weather with David Paul.
But before we get to that, we need to show you how we got here.
Each of us chose a school in different districts to test students' knowledge of hurricanes.
Each school has 3 rounds of 8 students competing in a bracket-style challenge.
Which means 32 kids will enter this competition, but only one will win.
The Cypress area is and has been my home for most of my life, so this is where we'll start. Cypress is known for large, towering pine trees that can cause major damage during hurricane-force winds if they're knocked down. And when conditions are right, heavy hurricane rain has been known to flood areas that are considered unlikely to flood during normal afternoon thunderstorms. Hurricane threats to inland areas can be very different from those on the immediate coast. So today, we've come to Cypress, to Millsap Elementary.
Sugar Land is one of the fastest growing communities in our area, which means a lot of new residents who may not know much about hurricane season on the Texas Gulf Coast. Now, wind is the biggest threat here since we are closer to the coast compared to our northern counties, and that's why I chose Austin Parkway Elementary here in Sugar Land.
I've been forecasting weather here in Houston for 30 years, and I've seen my share of hurricanes. In Houston, we have several threats when a hurricane is headed our way: flooding, downed trees, and mass power outages that can last for days. These are all things we need to be prepared for when a storm approaches. That's why I chose Lockhart Elementary School right here in Houston for our 3rd school.
Galveston is where you'll find sand, surf, and fun, but it's also home to the most deadly U.S. hurricane in history, the 1900 storm. Since then, many other hurricanes have hit this tourist paradise, including Ike in 2008, and since, we've learned so much, especially about evacuation procedures. So, I've chosen Austin Middle School here in Galveston for our final school. Let's find out who knows best.
The game is Hurricanes, Who Knows Best.
Here are the rules for the first round.
It's a best-of-3 tournament.
I will read the question.
Listen to the full question, and if you think you know the answer,
The first one to ring the bell after the question has been read
Gets a chance to answer the question. If you get it right, you get a point. The first person to get 2 correct answers
will advance to the next round.
Are you guys ready to play?
Here we go. First question. The following is a recommended item to have in your hurricane preparedness kit. A, gummy bears. B, soda. C, a first aid kit.
First aid kit.
First aid kit, correct. When a hurricane hits, first responders will be overwhelmed, and it may take them a while to get to you. You're going to want to have a first aid kit so you can care for the injuries your family may have from the storm.
Okay. All right, girls. So here we go. Most injuries in a hurricane are a direct result of A, strong winds, B, power outages, or C, storm surge and flooding.
Storm surge and flooding.
Nice job! Storm surge on the coast and inland flooding are the 2 most dangerous parts of a hurricane. If you live on the coast or a flood zone, you need to be prepared to take action.
Hurricanes usually form in the tropical areas of the world. True or false?
True.
True, that's correct. Tropical cyclones or hurricanes are like giant engines that form over warm, moist air as fuel, usually with water temperatures above 80 degrees. That is why they form over the warm equatorial waters.
First question, true or false? If you are in an evacuation zone and you're told by officials to evacuate, you should stay home. Woo, all right. Marco wins that round. Good job, Marco. Is the answer true or false?
True.
The answer is false. When waters rise, officials will not go in to rescue you. Literally, they can't make it and they won't try. They won't risk their own lives. If you stay home, you're doing just that. You're risking your life and your family's.
This is true or false? Katie and Walt. A Category 5 hurricane has sustained winds in excess of 157 miles an hour. Walt.
True.
That is true. You win the round. Good job. There are 5 categories of hurricane, with Category 1 being the weakest and Category 5 having winds sustained of 157 miles an hour and above. Those winds can devastate communities both on the coast and well inland. And Walt moves on to the lightning round. Also moving on is Yuli, Joey, and Paige.
True. 16. B. And I wall.
Pedro.
B. C.
That is correct.
The questions and answers continued all morning as we cut our contestants in half during the first round.
True.
Way to go, Arwen! In Sugarland, Arwen moves on to the lightning round. Also moving on is Jancy, Hanming, and Alexia.
True.
True, that's correct. You get some wins. In Houston, Trinity moves on to the lightning round. Also moving on is Kai, Jacoria, and Armani.
Ivy.
True.
Ivy moves on to the next round. Also moving on in Galveston is Alejandro, Morgan, and Chris.
Round 1 complete. Find out who will go on to the next round when we come back.
All right, round 2, the lightning round. 1 question, 1 answer. The winner goes on. The loser is eliminated. Alejandro and Ivy, are you ready?
Yes.
Multiple choice. When did Hurricane Ike hit the Galveston area? Was it A, 2000, B, 1980, C, 2008, or D, 1900? Ivy.
C.
2008. You're correct, and you've won. Ivy continues on. Hurricane Ike hit the Galveston area in 2008. Unfortunately, in the last 6 years, tens of thousands of new residents who've never lived through a hurricane have moved to that location, and they can't picture the waters that Ike brought to these neighborhoods.
A Category 3 hurricane has winds sustained at 74 miles an hour. Yuli.
False.
That's false. That's correct. Yuli moves on. A storm with winds of 74 miles an hour is just a Category 1. A Category 3 is a major hurricane with winds above 111 miles an hour.
Hurricanes can create dozens of tornadoes far away from where the center makes landfall. All right,
True.
making it to the next round. In fact, a tornado can form more than 100 miles away from the center of the storm.
A tropical storm watch means tropical storm conditions with sustained winds from 39 to 74 miles per hour are possible in your area within the next 36 hours. True or false?
True.
True. She's correct. You get to move on. A tropical storm watch is usually issued by the National Hurricane Center 36 hours before a storm threatens a particular area here along the Gulf Coast.
The question is a true or false. If you see water running over the road, it's safe to walk or drive through it. Walt.
False.
That is false. That's correct. You're moving on, Walt. And Walt moves on to the next round. Never walk or drive through high water that you don't know the depth of. That's where you can get in trouble that can be life-threatening. Turn around, don't drown.
Morgan and Chris, are you ready? A Category 5 hurricane has sustained winds in excess of 157 miles an hour. True or false? Chris.
True.
True is right. Hurricane wind speeds are categorized by the Saffir-Simpson scale. When a hurricane reaches Category 5 strength, its winds reach 157 miles per hour or higher, and that is devastating.
This is a true or false answer. If a hurricane knocks down power lines, it is safe to go near them. What's the answer?
False.
Way to go, Alexia! You're moving on to the next round. Never, never go near damaged power lines. First, clear the area and call your power company. There could still be electrical currents, which are very dangerous.
The right side of the hurricane in the northern hemisphere is often stronger in terms of winds, tornadoes, and storm surge. True or false? Armand?
False. True.
That's correct. The right side of a hurricane in the northern hemisphere is usually stronger because the forward momentum plus the swirling winds inside the hurricane make up the total force.
Here is how the final brackets are lining up. In Cyprus, Yulee and Walt will face off in the final school round.
Our final two are set in Sugar Land. Arwen takes on Alexia.
Houston's final school bracket is set. KHOU versus Trinity.
And in Galveston, Ivy and Chris will battle it out for the final school round. 2 rounds down, but who will win round 3, the final school competition, and move on to compete against the other school districts?
Yeah.
Find out when we come back. Welcome back to the final round. This is where we find out who's going to make it to the final competition. Chris and Ivy, this is a best of 3, a mix of multiple choice and true or false. The first question, what is the natural function of a barrier island like Galveston and the Bolivar Peninsula in a hurricane? Chris.
To shield the waves.
You did get a piece of the answer right, but for the full story, we need to ask Dr. Neil Frank.
Well, a barrier island was intended to protect the mainland. Barrier? Yeah, protection against the storm surge.
It's still 0-0. How much water should your family have in its hurricane kit for each person? A, 1 gallon per person per day for 5 days. B, 1 small water bottle for each person each day. Or C, none. You can get some from your neighbor. Chris.
A.
A is correct. 1 gallon per person per day for 5 days. It takes on average a week for supplies to reach a hurricane-ravaged area. If you're short on water, you could face real risk. Here's a true or false question. Is it safe to leave your pet at home if you evacuate during a major hurricane? Ivy, you won that.
False.
If you leave your pet at home, it faces countless uncertainties, not including where will it get its food, where will it drink its water, and what kind of shelter will be left for your animal. All right, guys, final question. You should not carry cash in your supply kit since it can wash away during a storm surge. Ivy?
False.
You absolutely need some cash on hand because when power goes out, credit card machines go black. You are correct. You have won the final round. Congratulations. So a big congratulations to Ivy. That was a very close round, but only she moves on to the final competition.
This is a fill in the blank. You should blank from the water and blank from the wind. Walt?
Run from the water and
3 seconds.
stay with the wind.
All right, Walt, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Yulee, you have a chance to steal.
You should run from the water and
3 seconds. You know, there is somebody here in Southeast Texas who knows everything about hurricanes, and that's our very own Dr. Neil Frank. Let's check in with what he has to say about this.
Well, you should run from the water. That is the storm surge. The storm surge is the big killer element. So if you live on Galveston Island and a hurricane is approaching, you run from it. Now, if you live well inland, you might want to consider staying in your house or hiding from the wind.
Next question. This is true or false. First person to buzz in will get to answer. The center of the hurricane is called the mouth. Walt.
False.
That's false. The center's called the eye. Good job. You get a point. The eye is the calm center of the storm. Just on the outside of that is the eye wall, where the strongest hurricane-force winds exist. The best way to keep water out of your home during flooding is A, Legos, B, sandbags, C, bricks. Walt.
C.
C, bricks, that's incorrect. Yulee, you get a chance to steal.
B, sandbags.
B, sandbags, that's correct. Yep, putting sandbags in front of your front door is the best way to keep the water out during a flood. Now we're tied up. All right, Yulee and Walt, here we go. Next question. This is true or false? It is safer to stay in my house and hide from the wind in Cyprus, where we are, than it is to try to get on the road and evacuate at the last minute. Walt?
True.
That's true. You win the round. You're moving on. If you are inland and outside the coastal evacuation zone, as long as you're in a home or business with a foundation, it is safer to stay in and hide from the wind than it is to try to evacuate and get on the road at the last minute. And so our champion at Millsap Elementary is Mr. Walt. Congratulations.
True or false? You should have enough food in your hurricane kit to last at least 7 days.
True.
Yes, Mama, nice job! All right, when does hurricane season officially start? Yes.
Summer.
Good answer, but you know what? For a better explanation, I know a man who will know for sure. Let's toss it over to Dr. Neil Frank.
Well, that's a great question. It starts on June the 1st and ends on November the 30th.
What dangers can occur after the eye of the storm passes? A, high winds, B, flooding, C, tornadoes, or D, all of the above? Yes.
D, all of the above.
Arwen, girl, you're knocking it out of the park! Nice job! Well, we have a winner at Austin Parkway Elementary. Arwen, you are advancing to the next round.
That has got to be the biggest cheer I've ever heard. Okay, congratulations. You both made it to our final round. Here's our first question. Here we go. What is the difference between a hurricane watch and a hurricane warning? Does anybody know? Do you know?
A hurricane watch is when a hurricane is coming sooner, and a hurricane.
That's close, but Dr. Neil Frank, one of my mentors, happens to know the correct answer, and he's going to tell us right now.
Well, a hurricane watch means you need to pay attention. It doesn't mean that the hurricane is going to directly affect you, but it might. A hurricane warning says, it's coming, take action.
Our next question. What is the stage of a hurricane as it develops? A, tropical storm, B, tropical wave, C, tropical depression, or D, all of the above?
Tropical storm.
You have a chance to steal.
D.
That's correct. You get a chance to tie. Ready for the next question? Hurricanes lose strength as they move over land. True or false?
True.
That's correct. You get to move on. Trinity has won our final competition at Lockhart Elementary, and we'll get to move on to the final round.
Our final four are set, but who will be the overall winner of hurricanes? Who knows best? Find out next. All right, it all comes down to this. Our four final competitors have won their school competitions and are now ready to compete in the ultimate challenge of hurricanes. Who knows best? And only one can come out on top. Here to be our final judge is Cameron Ballantyne from the American Red Cross. Hello, Cameron.
Thank you. Good to be here. All right, teams, are you ready?
Yes!
For your final competition, there's a hurricane coming toward the Gulf of Mexico. You need to start your disaster preparedness kit with items recommended from the Red Cross. So you're gonna have 10 items that you're gonna need to grab at HEB, and there are also bonus items. If you see them, pick them up. Whoever comes back to the finish line, the fastest with the most supplies, is gonna win a guest appearance with Dave Paul.
You get to do the weather with me
KHOU.
live on KHOU during the news. That's right. All right, guys.
You guys ready?
Yes. Yes.
Let's go inside, get started. Team David is Cy-Fair ISD, Team Cheetah is Fort Bend ISD, Team Mario is Houston ISD, and Team Brooks is Galveston ISD. Are you ready?
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go!
Aisle 14, aisle 14.
You got it.
Toothbrush.
Grab and go.
Pick some batteries right here.
You can't open it right here.
Batteries.
Oh,
As many as you can.
Harbor in. Good job, girlfriend. Good job.
keep going, keep going. Go, we'll get pace. Yeah, we're running good.
Right over here.
You gotta get the water.
Pitch it on the way back.
I'll help you with this.
Go get it. Go get it.
Okay, all right, I'm
Yep.
for you.
There you go. First aid.
Never again.
Okay, you can turn around. Let's go back to the skip batteries.
There you go.
Grab the
cooler.
Grab that, yep. We're good.
Batteries.
More batteries?
More.
Get 2 packs, 2 packs. Wally.
Yes, grabbing everything. Awesome.
Hey, look out, folks, look out, folks. Hey, Mario, look out. Oh, no. You can't slow us down. Here we go.
Cleaning supplies.
Ooh, go get the lighter, go get the lighter.
Want to see any bonuses? See any bonuses? More of those cans.
Get a toothbrush. Yeah, load it in.
Where are these?
Let's go. I think we got it. Come on, man, right here. Good job, Walt. All right. I think we got most everything on the list.
All right, are you guys ready to find out who won? Yeah! All right. Okay, so, and the winner of the Hurricanes Who Knows Best Challenge, getting the fastest time with 1 minute, 51 seconds, and 11 items in their cart is... Yes! Team David!
All my classmates are excited and my teachers are too. My mom was starting to scream. I did not think I was going to win at all.
All right, but let's check just to make sure. We have a first aid kit, which is obviously very important to the Red Cross. You have your can opener, your canned food, a flashlight, batteries for your flashlight, cooler to keep your food cold, and most importantly, water. You want to make sure you have a gallon of water per person per day. In addition to that, the Red Cross would recommend if you're going to go to a Red Cross shelter, bring blankets, pillows with you, comfort items. You want to make sure your pets are taken care of. And if you have elderly or special needs family members, that you have their medication, something that are going to keep them comfortable too.
What are you going to practice for us?
It's sunny and beautiful outside. I'm meteorologist Walt, and it's going to be cold at night and warm tomorrow.
Stand by. 3, 2.
So the clouds parted, the sun came out, and David Paul's following a beautiful day in the big city.
He is, and as we toss it over to David, we understand, Dave, you have a very special guest with you today.
Greg and Lisa, I do. The winner of our Hurricanes Who Knows Best special is here. It's Walt from Millsap Elementary.
Tune in Monday, June 23rd to KHOU 11 News at 5 and see Walt's weather forecast with David Paul.
Buzzers are down tight.
This is an easy one. True, false. Are those always the ones that everyone gets right?
Good job, guys. Good job.
Posture's good, time's good. Makeup, where's the makeup? No, I'm kidding.
Did you guys get it right back here? Yeah. All of you about? All right.
Sometimes I wonder if I shouldn't have been a weather person, maybe a game show host.
Watch what happens when I pull my arms in. That didn't work too well on that. Try that again.